Hello and welcome back to my world. If this is your first time, then welcome, and I hope you enjoy this video. I'm sure you already know what this video is about from the title, and I hope this video helps you in any way possible, you learn something. If not, I hope that it fills your curiosity. So today I am going to be talking about my condition and what I have. So I have a type of muscular dystrophy. Muscular dystrophy is a big term which covers so many different types, and it's like a huge umbrella basically. My type is called LGMD type 2E, which stands for Limb-Girdle Muscular Dystrophy, and the gene which is mutated, mutations, or basically another term for it is called Scoliosis. It is a muscle deteriorating condition. It progressively weakens the muscles, and it's based around the skeletal muscle and also within the hips and the shoulders. It depends on each individual, but mainly they get weaker and less mobile as the years go on. So as if you had watched my previous video, one of the main reasons why I am on YouTube and making this video is because I believe that there is people with my type and of muscular dystrophy, but I believe that there's not many people, and there's not much of like us people, we don't have much contact with each other. So there's not much of a, basically because there's so much different types of MD, we don't have a society basically of us. I know Duchenne's muscular dystrophy has its own society, it's well known basically. And LGMD2E and the other categories of LGMD don't have a society, and so my ultimate goal is to help people with LGMD type 2E, just form a group and for them to know that there is other people out there, but the only issue is that there are people out there, but they're not making videos, filming their life, or are on YouTube. I basically typed on YouTube LGMD type 2E girl, nothing came up. I wanted to see any other girls who have my condition, for it to be specific, to see how other people are doing in life, and there was nothing. Mostly boys have it, and mostly people they're not really personal, and there's not much about it from what I saw. So I just want to bring in something new into the LGMD2E society and start a new beginning for us. There's so many different topics on YouTube. There's so many different categories, but there's not much for the muscular dystrophy people, and for people who are seeking help as well. If your parents, hello, I'm Jimmy. And if you're teenagers or young children, I don't know if children will be watching my video, but if you are, hi. Now I'm going to be talking a bit more about my life and the stages I went through, and just to tell you a bit more about myself. I'm not going to go too much in detail because that could take an hour, so I'm just going to go through the highlights But maybe another time I could go in more deeper if anyone wants that. And today's video will only be about my condition and muscular dystrophy. I won't be making any other video talking about this. It's just I don't want to make my channel all about MD. It's going to be more about my life. I'm not really going to be diving deep into my condition, and every video is really not going to be about muscular dystrophy, or I think you probably understand what I mean. So, and I'm sure you don't want to hear me like just blubbering away. I'm sure it's boring, so it's going to be vlogs, videos. I'm sure you want to see everything else. So now moving on, we are going to talk about my life. So I don't think I've told you guys how old I am. I'm 18 years old and I was born in 2001 on the 22nd of August, which is my birthday. Yeah, so I was born as a normal baby, and I was a healthy baby, and no one really knew how extraordinary this baby would be, how adventurous it would be to have this baby. So I think that's a better word. I think both adventurous and extraordinary. Anyways, so yeah, I was born then, and up till I think 2 years old, when I was around 2, my parents like noticed that I wasn't really sitting or doing the normal crawling things, and I started crawling late, like at 3, and walking late as well, so they were a bit concerned. So we went to the doctors, and the doctors saw me, they did blood tests, and then they said they needed a muscle biopsy, which I'm sure any of you guys who have muscular dystrophy or any new parents, I'm sure you would have heard about what a muscle biopsy is, which they take a chunk of, no, I wouldn't say a chunk, maybe it's a prick of muscle to check what the problem is. And so they checked, and they did so many different tests, and they found out that I had muscular dystrophy. And type 2E, among the other ones, is more progressive, and it's rapid, so it deteriorates faster. And when I was around 4 or 5, and I remember I used to walk around, but people who have my condition, they can't really walk straight. You either walk on your tiptoes or you walk on the edges of your feet. It really depends. So I used to walk on the edges of my feet, and so I had like 2 major surgeries. Well, my first surgery was around 6. I was 6 years old. It wasn't that major, just to make my feet, if I could walk straight. That helped, but then my feet got worse again. So then around 8 years old or 9, I had another surgery. It was a bigger surgery to help my feet so I could walk straight, but obviously I got weaker and my feet curved up again, and I could no longer walk, basically. So at the ages of 9, I think, I don't really remember my childhood that much in detail on when or how progressive things were back then. Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, around 9 years old I stopped walking completely, but I was still mobile. And I definitely remember the time of transitioning from a manual chair to a power chair, which was a very exciting time for me, and I don't think I would forget that. From then, at 10 years old, I started to develop scoliosis, which is another big topic that I will talk about. I developed a curvature in my spine, and yeah, so I don't know if anyone else with muscular dystrophy has developed scoliosis, but scoliosis normally develops when people are sitting for too long or it's just random. For me, I think it was because I was sitting for too long, or I don't really know exactly how I developed, but I did develop, and it was for a good cause, as always. I wore this horrible brace. I don't think I'm ever going to say anything nice about it, because if any one of you has ever worn a brace, you know how bad it is. And yeah, it did help, but it never really improved the curvature. So yeah, I wore a brace for 2 years, and then around 12 I got more weaker. I was actually full-time wheelchair, and still could use my hands, I think, but I had to like bend down to eat because I couldn't really lift them. My fingers were good at that time as well, I think, but then I started to use my right hand more than the others, so that made an impact on my movement as well. And then yeah, so 12 years old, and then I had scoliosis surgery, spinal fusion, also around 12 or 13ish. It was my third surgery by then, third or fourth. I had so many, so I don't really recall if it was my third or no, it was my fifth surgery, I think. Fifth or sixth. Okay, yeah, so before surgery I could move my head around. I could hold up my body on my own, like I could have my own balance, and I could use my hands to eat myself at times, but I would still get tired, and I did have movement. I had somewhat movement. However, after surgery, I had lost my own holding of balance of my body. I had lost head movement as well. I could no longer hold my head up, and also I had lost the movement of my arms. I could no longer feed myself because of the scoliosis. I was now straight, no longer curved, which meant I did not bend over to feed myself. And I'm not sure if this is the same for everyone. I had my own experiences. Maybe some other people still had some movement in their arms or head, but for me, I lost that movement, and I wasn't warned about that before. I guess no one knew. I also had other issues with my nerves or veins, but I'll put that in my other video when I do a scoliosis video. And then gradually, when I turned 16, I still got weaker, but then I kind of had difficulties with using my wheelchair. I guess that had always been an issue about me driving around with my power chair. I had the side controls, but then it got difficult. So then I was mounted a center controller on a tray. I'm sure that was around 16 or maybe younger. It was in between 13 and 16 that I had the tray, and the new controllers, which made it easier. I also could move my hand around, put my hand on the controller myself, and just general, I was able to do those things, and it felt good. And then, like now, talking about the last few years of my life, I don't want to really say that I have gotten weaker, but I think I have, because it's obvious. I mean, before it was never really obvious to me when I was younger that I had been progressively getting weaker, and I never wanted to admit that up until I think last year, when I started to admit that my arms were getting weaker, like my hands, because my fingers had started to contract and got weaker, so I rely on my hands to use my power chair and drive around, and I also use the phone, laptop, so I'm pretty much independent by using my fingers. So, and then I started to agree with myself about being weaker, and so yeah, I got weaker and pretty much had issues, started to get respiratory problems, I think, around, well, I did have so many chest infections when I was younger, like from 12 onwards, but we never knew why, if they were chest infections or not. They got worse, and up until 15, I guess, when my respiratory doctors told me that they were chest infections, and I started having therapy for it. I also got a BiPAP machine, which is a ventilator which helps me at night. It's just so I get a better quality of sleep. I'm not really going to go into too much detail on why I use the BiPAP machine. It's just so I sleep better. And I had problems with my breathing, which is to do with anxiety. I started chest therapy, percussion, nebulizers, and then I stopped in the chest infections. I haven't had chest infections in a few years now, but then I was no longer able to cough with full strength, as I'm sure a few of you who have muscular dystrophy, you would know that when you cough, you can't really cough. Like, some people are weak and you can't really cough or have full strength to sneeze. So now, very recently, a year ago, I got introduced to a Clearway device, which is a coughing machine. It helps you to cough. So I received a coughing machine which helps me to clear away the mucus, which is okay. Hey guys, I think that clip just ended because the charge ran out. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully it won't run out again. Yeah, basically I was talking about my cough device and how I started to use that, as I can't really cough properly, and it helps with the mucus and everything. And yeah, also I was talking about the weakness in my arms and fingers. Now I can't really use the controller on my tray anymore as well. 2 years ago I received a electric arm which makes my arm go up and down. As you can see, it's going up and down. Yeah, so I received this which basically changed my life for the better. I was able to use my chair better, use my laptop better, and start my art again, which I paint as well. So basically it gave me more movement, and I can, it helps me to eat as well. So yeah, then my hands got weaker. I started to use my controller with the electric arm. I remember in last year in September I used the normal, I didn't use my electric arm in college, but then I started to feel like it was really difficult for me to get in and out of classes, or I would get stuck, or I would need help, and my wrist would keep turning, and it was so difficult, and it was causing me so much mental strain to keep my wrist up and to move around, up until I finally, me and my mum made a decision that I should use the electric arm in college, which was also another stressful factor, but then I got used to it. And after that I tried to use my controller chair, but then I couldn't because I lost the ability to use my chair. without the electric arm of my wrist, which is now contracting, I guess. We would try and use the electric arm only for college and not for when I'm at home, but then I don't know what happened and I didn't do that, so it just got worse. But I think it would have been worse anyways. It either was going to be stressful or it was going to be some sort of something, you know. So yeah, so I use my arm for pretty much everything. Laptop, phone. Oh yeah, I think it was why I was using my electric arm more was because I was using my laptop and I needed it for the laptop. So I think that's why I was. Anyways, I'm sure you don't want to know all these details about the arm. But I will put down details in the description box about the electric arm, where I got it from, and the I will also, for those of you who are interested, put in the description box below about the muscular dystrophy fact sheets and more information to help you guys. I am now at an age of 18 years old, as I mentioned before, and I've pretty much highlighted my life, I guess, and I hope that I have not missed out anything. I haven't really spoken about my college life, my school life, which is a huge part of my life as well, how I was at school and what school I went to and my feelings and emotions in school. And also I haven't really spoken about the mental side of things. I've never really been affected mentally with my condition. I've always been pretty much positive, even in childhood and teenagehood. I think I only started to be mentally affected at 16 years old, around 15 or 16. The only reason was because of confidence and passiveness and the way I looked. I was just not confident with myself. But I think school life and college life and mental health with muscular dystrophy I will put in another video, just because this video is purely about limb-girdle muscular dystrophy and how I gradually got weaker. And if you are a parent and you are watching this video and you have a new child who is recently diagnosed with the condition, I just do not want you to worry or panic, because it is a new beginning. It is definitely an adventure you would want to be on. So please, I know it is upsetting. I know you would want your child to be able to do the things normal children do, but I could assure you that there is so many things that your children will be able to do. It's just a matter of being patient and just having so many options. And we're in 2020. I mean, besides COVID and the pandemic, there's so much new in life. And oh yeah, talking about new in life, there is gene therapy. I mean, there is no cure, guys, okay? Like, just being straightforward. You have to understand the fact that there is no cure. So please, please do not take your child around the world trying to fix their condition, because I tell you that I've been around the world and it didn't happen. I've been through so much. My parents tried their best for my condition to be cured, but it couldn't. There is no way. So please do not do that, because it's just going to cause your child stress, and for you stress. I mean, just please don't. Even if this video gets to you, I hope it does, don't do that, okay? You can hate me on that. Don't try it. I've been through it. If you have any questions on that, I will make another video about my trips around what my parents did. So, okay. And yeah, so there is therapy, gene therapy, which is not a cure, but it helps the progressive muscle wastage. It helps the mutated gene, which will stop the progressive muscle wasting. And so if the child is young and they have the gene therapy, which there are human trials happening for my exact type of condition, then that would mean that your child would no longer have progressive muscle wastage, and they would hopefully no longer have MD. It's not exactly a cure, but it just really slows down the muscle wastage, and it just helps with everything. And I will also put a link down below of the company, which is called Serepta Therapeutics, who have invented this gene, and they are working on human trials at the moment. So that is very exciting and good news for us. And if you're a researcher, then I'm sure you're happy about that too. If you're not, you still have to be, because obviously who wouldn't be happy about this? It's amazing news. Gene therapy could possibly slow down so much of the rapid muscle wastage, and it could just make you stay the same. If I have the gene therapy now, I would still have movement in my arms, and that's all I need. I don't think I will get any more weaker, but you never know. Gene therapy, hopefully one day I will have it, and I will film myself having it to show every one of you. So talking to the teenagers out there or young people, honestly, I hope this video helps. I hope you've met someone who has your condition. Isn't it so cool? And we can relate to each other. It's just one of the best things that you meet someone else who has the exact same type of mutated gene as you and are going through something similar. I mean, normal humans are very much different to each other. They don't have a lot of similarities, which gives us a bonus point. So yeah, hopefully you get something out of this video, or you enjoyed me talking. I'm sorry if I talk too much or if I've spoken too fast. I hope you've understood the video. I know this video was a bit awkward at the beginning. I had it in my head, but I couldn't really say it. But now I have said it, and maybe another day I'll make a more detailed video about my life and growing older. But it's just a very brief basics of how things got progressively worse as I grew older. Thank you very much for watching. I will upload another video on Wednesday. Please comment down below if this video helped you, or if there is anything else you would have wanted me to talk about in this video, or if there's anything I missed out, which I apologize. If I have any questions or anything, please let me know, and I am very happy to answer your questions. And yeah, and subscribe if you want to watch more videos, if you're interested, because then you'll know whenever I post. Otherwise, thank you so much and have a good day, and I'll see you again on Wednesday. Bye for now.